Welcome back to the Official European Charts. Now we're joined by a guest who is no stranger to the music industry. You saw him at the launch party of the Official European Charts.
It's called Remember the Days, and it's me going back to when I first started writing. So yeah.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Liquid.
All good, yes.
Good. Now, the last time we saw you was at the Official European
That's right.
launch
I think
party.
I'm still slightly hungover.
It was crazy. It was
Absolutely
crazy.
That's what happens when there's free drinks, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. It was kind of, you guys have seen it at home there. It was absolutely mental. Now, listen, we're talking about your first single that you're releasing this year. Not a single that you've released in your years, but a single that you're releasing this year. We're going to talk about that. That's one of the things you were talking about in your interview. But we want to dive into the past, the Liquid past. You know what I mean? So firstly, let's go on the Liquid name. What's Liquid about?
Do you know what? There's so many different things. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, when I first picked it out when I was younger, I had so many different names. It was around the times you were either a DJ or an MC at school with garages and things like that. I plucked out a lot of names. I'm gonna hit you up with something. Desire, Divine. Yeah. That's an exclusive.
You went in.
But I plucked out Liquid because of flow. I used to have like a really fast flow. Yeah. That was my thing back when I was like 14, 15. I used to just try and fit as many words as I possibly could and get them all out at once. So it started out because I used to just flow really quick, and someone said it's like water coming out of your mouth. You know what I mean? So I just thought Liquid. You know what I mean? But now I would say it's more because of the styles. So if you listen to all my different styles and the different types of music that I try to create, it's more to do with the fact that I don't really try and do one certain type of style. So I would say it's more. I see my voice as the final instrument over the actual track.
Definitely.
So I alter my voice and everything else to try and suit the track and flow over it accordingly.
And you've been writing since you were 14. How did you get started into music?
You know what? It was, like I said, it was one of those things where at school we were either a DJ or you were an MC, and with the DJ I had a DJ decks and everything else. Parents couldn't really afford those types of things at that time, so I just thought pen paper. I mean, it's easy. So and I wanted to get my thoughts and opinions across. But if I'm completely honest, when I was younger, it wasn't even about that. There was nothing conscious about what I was writing. It was just the fact that we had a youth club. Girls used to come to the youth club, and I wanted to impress the girls.
Can we talk about? You got to be honest.
It always seems to go back to girls, doesn't it? You're always on this show.
I was 14 them times, man. So that's all it really was.
It had to be done. You know what I mean? So inspiration-wise, what sort of music were you listening to when you was growing up?
Tupac was a massive inspiration. When I first, what album was it? The very first time I heard, I think it was Greatest Hits, and for me, that just the way, the passion behind the music. I try and incorporate that style and that way of putting your energy and everything that you've got into your music with everything that I do. So definitely Tupac. But then when I was younger, it wasn't even hip hop artists, because my parents used to listen to like a lot of soul, a lot of Motown, a lot of like Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, Whitney Houston, all those types of artists. It was more kind of soul and blues music. And I like to say, if I was to create a genre for my music, it would definitely soul rap or alternative hip hop, something like that. Do you know what I mean? So I try and incorporate the soul element into, even though I'm not singing, still spoken word or rapping, whatever you want to call it, try and put the soul into it, man.
Now you mentioned UK Garage, and obviously UK Garage used to be massive back in the day, you know what I mean? So all the EZs, Matt Jam, Le Mans, all them. So what got you into garage? Because in those days there were different camps. You either like the jungle, drum bass, garage. We didn't mix together. So if you're into garage, you're garage. You know what I mean? So what kind of got you into garage? Was it Paris stations or?
Yeah, it was just the energy. The energy that you used to get. I mean, like I said, we used to go to the youth clubs and stuff, and DJs used to play certain tracks, and with them it was all to do with the mix and how tight the mix could be, and then we used to jump on the mic and we used to record it. It was cassette tapes back then.
Remember that?
That's it. So
that's for the kids out there, cassette tapes, go and research it.
That's it. Look,
Google.com.
So it was that, and I loved the energy of it, and it was just, because it wasn't rehearsed. It was just, you had your lyrics, people had their crowd pleasers as well, and you just went there, and whatever instrumental dropped, then you just think of a lyric off the top of your head in terms of, like, you have your catalogue of 16s, 8s, whatever it was, and you just do. So no one set was exactly the same, even though your lyrics, you had your certain lyrics, and then every now and again a new person would drop a new lyric that no one's heard, and man, it was just the energy.
And your move from garage to rap, how would you?
garage to rap, I would say it was more maturity, like growing up. Not to say that garage is immature in any way, because it's not at all. But I just felt like, for me as an artist, I needed to find out who I was, and I was better suited to what hip hop and rap represented rather than what garage represented at the time. I see garage as an amazing way to kind of like energy and hyping the crowd and all that type of stuff. But I wanted to talk to people, especially when I first got into rap. I wanted to talk to people about real issues that were going on. So,
So tell us about one of your. We're still sticking on the past theme. Tell us about some of your releases you did in the past, and because obviously you're working on the album now. What are the releases you've done in the past?
So there's been 5 mixtapes, underground mixtapes that I released from 2005 up until 2008. My Midnight Performance, Shattered Dreams, the Red Zone documentary. There was too many to mention. I had different volumes for them as well. So for me, then I look back and for every piece of work that I did, I put everything into it. But if I was listening to it, it really was kind of artist development. I was really kind of finding myself, finding my styles, how I wanted to get certain messages across to people. I think that's so, because there's certain lines, if you say them, you can say it so differently and it becomes cheesy rather than impactful. And I think it takes time to kind of work out how to say things in the right way so it connects with people. Yeah. And that's what I was doing with those underground mixtapes. I mean, like, I listen to them now and I cringe, but I think that happens with a lot of artists.
Yeah, I mean, it's like watching a film that you made when you was 12 years old.
That's it. It's like the growth.
Or Pamela Anderson going back to films she made when she was younger. It's hardcore. Anyway, listen, Liquid. Let's talk about presently now. So let's go into the present. You're doing a lot now, You've got a new single that you're working on now, and it's called Remember the Days, which takes us back to the old school days. Let's go. So why is it your first single? Why did you decide to make that your first single?
Do you know what? I wanted to see when I was young. We go back to like 10 years ago. It sounds like 13, 14, them kind of times. Yeah, I wanted to. It's like we did it as for fun. Them times. It was all about fun. It was never. We weren't thinking career because that wasn't necessarily possible. I mean, the UK rap scene was nowhere near at the level that it is now. Nowhere near. It was nowhere near there. And it's like, it was all kind of, if you were a rapper, you were from the States, you know what I mean? And that's how it was. But now, coming up, I mean, it's amazing for the kids in this country. It's not just, you could have a name here, you could have a global name. It's like UK, especially the urban scene, is now recognised, not just for rock music like it was back in the day. Like the Beatles, obviously, they went global years and years and years ago, but rap music is now recognised in the same way. So you can come from the UK and become an urban superstar, and that wasn't there. So there was an element of that I wanted to touch on, but also just key things like technology, how much technology's changed in the last 10 years. So I mentioned, and Jordan, I'm sure you remember this, I'm sure everyone in the room remember it, the Mega Drive. Remember the Mega Drive?
Mega Drive, everyone knows the Mega Drive.
Free buttons, no internet connection. You know what I mean? You can't play someone who's over in China. It's just the 3 buttons and the person right next to you, and that was it.
That was it.
Yeah, Sonic, all them kind of games there. Cartridge. You know what I mean? It was a cartridge game.
Oh, you're joking, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
You're taking it back to the old school.
That's it. And
take it back to the Walkman days.
That's what I'm saying. We're having that in the video as well. You'll see one of those, and the cassette tapes that we touched on earlier as well.
So you got quite a vintage video going on,
that's what I'm saying.
It's kind of an education in a way, because I mean, some of the things we're talking about, some people literally, honestly, don't know anything about. I was speaking to my cousin the other day, and I was telling him about Walkmans. What? You know what I mean? Where's the MP3 player?
That's it. Exactly that. Exactly that. And also like the very first phones as well. A lot of the kids, they come straight into touch phones, iPhones, all that kind of stuff.
What about the pages?
That's it. The pages.
You know what I mean? There was no phones. It was like, you page me back, we got a pay phone around the corner.
That's exactly that. That's how it used to be, man. And like the games they've got on their phone now were like similar to the games that we had to, they were like our main games, but now you get better games than that on just your iPhone. You see what I'm saying? So
you had to buy a whole brick thing to get a Sneak game.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was literally just this. So I'm touching on that as well. I'm hoping that it will educate, like you said, some of the youngest that are doing music today, or just generally, and also people that were born in the 70s, 80s will be able to go.
Wow, that's changed now. I'm talking before the recession. We used to have seasons. Summertime was hot, pretty girls half naked, showing off what they got in hot pants and tight tops. We used to holler from the block, try and get a few bars, chirping. Certain man got air hurting, but it was all good. And if I could go back, believe that I would. If I could go